Welcome to video number 1 on integers and rational numbers. Every time you see a red word, that is going to be a vocabulary word, and the definition will then be in blue. So our first word of this unit is integers. Integers are all positive and negative whole numbers and 0. So 0, -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3 are examples of our integers. Opposites. Opposites is another word that we need to know. It's another vocab. Opposites are things like -1 and +1. They are the same distance from 0. One in a negative direction, one in a positive. We also can put opposites that aren't integers but are rational numbers. So something like 2 or -2 and 1/2 and +2 and 1/2. Now notice 2 and 1/2 is between 2 and 3. So -2 and 1/2 is between -2 and -3. Additive inverse are two numbers whose sum is 0. So if I were to add -1 and +1, I would get 0. Just like if I add -2 and 1/2 and +2 and 1/2, I would also get 0. So what are rational numbers? Because I used that word before. They are numbers that can be expressed as one integer divided by another integer. Okay? So integer examples, those are easy. -2. Well, 2 over 1 is -2 over 1 is the same as -2. Remember, dividing by 1 gives you the same number. +5, 5 over 1. Those are the easy examples of rational numbers. Also, fractions are pretty easy. -1/2, -2/3, even really strange ones like +7/16, and improper, -4/3. These are all examples. So if you can make a number into a fraction, then you know it's a rational number. So let's do some reviewing. Changing fractions to decimals, okay? We've got 3/5. Remember, our denominator goes on the outside, our numerator goes on the inside, but can I divide 3 by 5? Not without adding my decimal and a 0. Remember, your decimal always goes straight up. Now, will 5 go into 30? Yes, it will. It'll go in 6 times. And 6 times 5 is 30. And remember, you subtract. So my answer is 0.6 or 6/10. We also need to review changing decimals to fractions. So if we have the decimal 6/10 or 0.6, we look at the place value of where the number is. It's in the tenths place. Because it's in the tenths place, we put a 10 on the bottom and then put the number on top. But remember, we reduce always, so we get 3/5. Okay? So now we're going to work on putting numbers on the number line. All right? So I've got some numbers down here that we're going to put on this number line. The first one we're going to do is -0.4 or -4/10. Well, we always can think about where would it be on the positive side. So if that was +4/10, it would be between 0 and 1 and not quite to the halfway mark. So we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. Here's the halfway mark, and it's not quite there. $1.7. Well, this is a positive number, so it should be pretty easy to put on. We know that it's larger than 1, smaller than 2, and 0.7 is pretty close to like 0.8, 0.9, which round up to the next whole. So we know that it's going to be closer to 2. Negative 0.8. Now this can be tricky. Is it going to be on this side closer to the 0, or is it going to be on this side closer to the -1? Well, again, if we think, here's 0.5, we knew that 0.4 was here. 0.8 is almost a positive 1. So negative 0.8 was almost to -1. Negative 1 and 1/2. You will also sometimes see this as negative 1.5. It is, 0.5 is halfway, remember? Negative 1 and 1/2 would be halfway between -1 and -2. -2 and 2/3. Again, -2 and 2/3 would be between -2 and -3. 2/3 as a decimal is 0.6 repeating. So that is larger than 0.5. So we're going to go further than the halfway mark, but not by much. All right. We're going to do a couple of examples for moving on the number line. So let's say you have $5 for an allowance, and you are going to go out and buy something, and it just happens it's $10, and you're going to borrow some money from your mom. Well, how much are you going to need to pay her back? So we start at 0, and I have $5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm buying something for $10. Remember, you're paying it out. So we're going to go in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which takes me to -5. So I'm going to owe my mom $5. Oops. There we go. So now I still owe my mom $5, but I'm going to go mow the lawn, and she said she'd pay me $10 to mow the lawn. How much is that going to leave me after I pay her back? So I owe her 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now she's going to give me 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means I'm going to have $5 left once I pay my mom back.